Okay. Okay, great. So I'm live now. I'm just going to jump on my laptop here and see if everything's good. So I have been thinking about doing like a lot of live retouching. I don't know if you guys can hear me, but if for some reason you're here and you can hear me, just let me know. Um, so this is basically just a test because like I'm considering doing um more live videos and just live retouching because I feel like that way I can get questions and also just answer whatever questions I get. So I'm just going to mute this laptop here and just check what's happening. And yeah, I am live. Okay, great. I don't know if anybody's online, but if you are, just give me a thumbs up, write a comment, whatever. But if you're here today and you're live and you can hear me, then great. Then good evening, Pent Lyrics. Then you're going to sit through one of my retouching sessions. So also I got the hopefully my hands are not too I got the DJI Osmo Pocket here. And the good thing about that is that it just makes life a lot easier for me. Because I don't have to set up like my big camera and everything. I just have like a light here. And it doesn't have to be like super, I don't know, fancy to me, like sometimes I have work to do and I need to retouch. So hey, I might as well just get in there and get that done. So I'm monitoring comments here, just looking at what's happening on my PC here while just working here. Okay, great. So if you have any questions, please do not forget to just throw it at me while I am retouching, and I'll now do my best to answer it. Okay, great. So now I'm in Capture One right now, and this is my raw processing software of choice. This right here that I'm clicking up here, this is my exposure warning up here, and then just to see if my image is getting overexposed, and also have my before and after right here. So the first thing I want to do, and first thing I typically do, is just drag in my whites on my levels. Just drag that into this point, and then for my blacks I'll do the same. So what this does is that this just adds some contrast to the image, but at the same time, I'll just check my exposure one in and see what's happening. So I really do not. No, not finished. Like I'm trying to get this out of my screen, but for some reason it's right. Okay, she's going to take that away. Okay, great. So right now, I can see that the top of her head is just a little bit overexposed. I don't mind that part being a bit overexposed. That's totally fine. And then I'll just add some contrast here. Okay, great. Let's see what our before and after looks like. You guys can see, brings the image to life. One thing that's happening here is like her skin right here is it's a bit different from her hand right here, and that's something that we have to pay attention to. Give a discount on your pro retouching pack to us watching live. I'll do that anytime I do a live. I'll figure out a way to like just give a discount to the pro retouching pack. I will consider that and figure out a way to do it. But unfortunately, right now I can't do it because I'm live. Just getting this out of the way. By the way, can you hear the audio clearly? If you can, give me a thumbs up or just tell me I can hear this clearly. Yeah, I'm planning, like I said, to do a lot more lives in the nearest future, and not just retouching live. Lighting breakdowns, all those stuff. Just do more live videos. Okay, great. My Kelvin, I would probably just take back to 5,600 because that's what I shot it at. It's probably going to be a little bit more warm. I don't mind. I think the tint looks okay. Capture One figuring out the tint is fine. Like I said, we have this part in the hand right here that is a different color from the face. I want everything to be pretty uniform. So what we can do is we can select our subject, subject select, and that's going to create a new layer. That's a new That's kind of like the AI mask in Capture One. It's okay, you know. It's not great, but it's okay. Um, it's definitely not the best. It's not as good as Capture. No, it's not as good as Photoshop, but it's decent. So if I click M on my keyboard, you can see it selected my subject. So just going to click M so that I can go away. And then I'll come down to skin tone right here, this color editor right here. Just pick this, select about the skin tone that I want other parts to look like, maybe somewhere around here, right? And then I'll just mess with my uniformity, saturation. I can mess with the hue here. Not too much. Saturation, maybe just add some saturation to it. So what it does is that it kind of like blends the whole colors, like everything just looks the same, right? I mean, like you can do it here, you can do it in Photoshop. One thing I don't like about it is like I said, it's the skin tone. So anything that has that red color, it kind of affects it. So if you look around here, you can see the lips have changed. So basically, we probably have to bring out my eraser tool. Forgot to turn on my Wacom, but hopefully it's gonna pop up now. Okay, great. So I'll probably just turn on my eraser tool and then just, probably just take it out the lip. You can see how it kind of like messed a lot with the lips. Take out the lips, the eyes. I don't want any eyes because the eyes tend to look weird. I mean, I still want these straps right here to be the same color they were previously. So, I mean, something like this, the color looks a lot, I don't know, like a lot better. Look before, look after, look before, look after. You can see that there's a lot more warmth in the skin and it looks really good. I think what I'll do is just move this laptop all the way over to this place because I feel like I can see better here. If you had to pick between Lightroom or Capture One for portrait retouching, which would you pick? I mean, honestly, I'll pick the one that I'm using right now, which is Capture One. So yeah. So at this point, I think I've done pretty okay here in Capture One because I tend not to do too much in Capture One when I start. The skin though, like I can see right here. I don't know why it's telling me this because if you actually look at your exposure one and it's blown out, but it's telling me that right here is where it's happening. But no, that's not where it's happening. It's definitely not happening there. So maybe just add a bit more contrast to the skin. Probably just my highlights because I feel like that is, yeah, that's quite a lot right there. Just yeah, that's totally fine. I'm not going to push it too much. Okay, great. So now we're just going to take this and open with edit with Photoshop. These right here are the scenes that I use in Photoshop, so you guys can just fix that. 16-bit PSD, all that stuff. And we're going to take this into Photoshop right now. Do raw images look better on Capture One or Lightroom? I can't really tell, honestly. Like, I feel like both of them have probably like the same look to them. So, hey, I cannot really tell. Pretty sure you guys can see some of my office work. Okay, great. So now we are here in Photoshop where we do the main work, right? And the first thing I want to do is just clean out the background because a lot of this hair, like it's fine, like I mean, depends on what you're doing. It's not terrible to have, but what I'll do is duplicate, pick the clone stamp tool, and I'll probably just use the clone stamp tool to get this out. Just quick and easy with the clone stamp tool. That's it right here. S on your keyboard. Make sure I'm on current layer. Then sample, hold option and sample, then just clean this up. I feel like, so it's crazy. I feel like my PC is really slow because I'm streaming. And this is the M1 Mac Mini. The laptop here is the probably M3 Mac Pro. I would probably, just to test that out, I'll see what it feels like for streaming. Just test that out. Now, while I'm doing this, I can see that there are some, like it just feels wonky here, but I don't mind because I'm going to clean the background out later. So, I don't mind whatever I leave here. I'm going to still smoothing out the background later, so hey, doesn't really matter to me. I mean, some of these tiny strands here, I'll probably leave those because I want it to look as original as possible, but not look too fake. Oh, oh my God, it's still showing capture one. Thank you for letting me know. Back to Photoshop. Sorry. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so now we're in Photoshop. Sorry, man. This live thing. Shit. See, this is why I need to do this test so I can figure it out. So what I was doing was I just duplicated my background right here. And what I'm doing is using the clone stamp tool to actually clean this up. This is why I actually do need to I needed this right here so I could look at this just to figure it out. Okay, okay, so what I'm doing is the same thing. I'm just cleaning out all these strands of hair that are here using the clone stamp tool. I'm not being precise in any way. You never did the pic on Instagram. I don't know what that is, but okay. Okay, great. So I am by the way, like with some of these lives, I will probably see if I can edit one or two of your photos while I'm live sometimes. Another thing that this will help me do is just test out like a few softwares live and see what they look like, show you guys what I think about them. But hey, like I said, I'm not too bothered about like the color shift in the background up here. I feel like I'll fix that later. If you guys can see here, there are some few, I don't know, in the process of cleaning out the background, there are some few parts right here and discolorations right here between white and gray on the right side, just here like this. I don't mind that. I can always clean the background later. Like cleaning your background is probably like the easiest thing to do when it's a seamless backdrop. If it's not a seamless backdrop, then there's a problem. But when it's seamless, it's a lot easier to clean. So hey, um, okay. So just going to take this out. Like I said, if you guys got any questions, just leave it. No, it's not still showing. It's still capture one. I don't think so. Like I switched it to Photoshop. That is crazy. Is it still showing capture one? Please don't tell me it's still showing capture one. Back to sorry. Let me see. Is it still showing? What about now? Are we in Photoshop now? Please tell me we're in Photoshop now. This is crazy. Let me see. Sorry to like the 10 people that are here. Let me know if we're still in Capture One or we're like in Photoshop right now. Because I feel like we should be in Photoshop right now. It's now in Photoshop. Thank you. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Okay, great. So I'm just going to show you guys what I was doing. So basically what I was doing was I was actually just what I was doing was that I was cleaning up the background here. So if you guys see right here, we have like a bunch of stray hairs right here. So I was just cleaning that out with my clone stamp tool. That's all I was doing right there. So with the clone stamp tool, I was getting all these things out of the way. And what I was showing you guys was, I don't know if you guys can see, but up here there is this slight discoloration between here and here, but that's totally fine. And here you can see some like wonky discolorations in some of these places. So it's like not discoloration, basically like the you can just see how it looks. It does not look like a seamless background, but that's totally fine. That's something that like I said, we can always clean in post, right? um right here, we can clean right here, probably towards the end. It just makes it a lot easier to do, instead of like worrying about picking one strand of hair at a time. Sometimes these ones that are here like this, I'll probably leave them so they just don't look too fake. It doesn't look too fake, like you just cut the person out of the background. Okay, great. So we have gotten that out of the way. I'll probably take this out, this strand right here. Okay, I'll probably take this strand out here out. I don't like that. It just doesn't look great. So I'll just take that out. So this looks decent. Okay. So right now we've cleaned out the background. I feel like it's a little bit acceptable. If we need to do anything, we'll probably go in later and just finish this up and just get some things out of the way, right? So we're done with that. Next thing we want to do is just probably still work on this. Typically, if it's like client work and everything, I'll create like a new layer, just so that I'll probably just do that right now. So basically, it's like this right here is background cleaning. So BG cleaning, right? And then this right here, the next one is probably just going to be blemishes, right? Feel like I need water. Okay, great. So that's going to be blemishes, and for this one, we're going to take out like some hairs, all that stuff, and we're going to use the spot healing brush. Spot healing brush is really good at this, right? We're going to use the spot healing brush, and then we're going to move to using the patch tool. Now, for these strands right here, I just probably going to take these ones out with the spot healing brush because it just makes it a lot easier for us to work on. So take those out. There's one on top of the head right here that runs quite long. I'll probably just take this one out. So. Just take this out. By the way, I think Canon is putting out a new camera. It's still the 4th year, but if you're in like Nigeria or something, then it's the 5th very soon. So I think Canon's putting out a new camera on the 5th. I don't know if you guys are excited about that, but I feel like I kind of like will reserve my judgment on what Canon is doing till, or on what I feel about Canon till I see whatever it is that they are bringing out in the nearest future. This kind of like messed up this place, which I don't really like. And that like I have quite a lot of figuring out to do to just get this. So I think, yeah, doing it in short bursts is decent, though it's not the best, but it's better than the long one I did previously. Okay, I mean, it's not the best, but it's a lot better. I'll probably just take this one out. The rest I'll probably just leave there. Maybe try and get this one here and get it out the way there, and then this one. I mean, I'll probably just leave the rest there. So, okay. Then we have this strand here too that we have to deal with. This long strand that we have to deal with. So once again, like I said, I think my PC is struggling to stream. I have this long strand here to hide in. My PC is struggling to stream, and oh shit, my bad. Don't curse, Prince. Struggling to stream and edit as easy as possible. So, I mean, I'm changing it pretty soon. Considering, I don't know what I'm considering, to be very honest. Like, I don't know what PC to get next. Okay, great. So this before and after. I know we're waiting for the real big thing. We're waiting to get into skin retouching, which we're going to do in a bit now. So talking about the skin, Neris, our beautiful model, has these I'd say this tiny facial hair on her face that I kind of like taking out. It's not like it will show in the image, but at the end of the day, after retouching. But I like taking those out. So what I typically do is just pick the, what do you call this tool? The patch tool, right? And I'll hold shift and then just go over all these strands right here like this, right? So I'll just go through a couple of those strands and you can see it's taking out quite a lot of those in a bit, right? Hold shift. So the reason why I hold shift is that I can select a lot more, at a time instead of just doing one. So, just get shift and keep selecting all these ones like this, and then just move them out and see it's taking that out. Then this one's too. I feel like when it comes to editing, this is the hardest part. No, this is the easiest part, but it's the most time consuming. If there was a way you could get this out, then it'd be a lot easier for you if you can reduce the amount of time that you spend doing this. So look at before there and look at that after. Straight magic. It just gets the work done. Just get all that out the way. I mean, there are still a few here that I'll probably not be able to get to as much as I'd like to get to them, or as good as I'd like to get to them. So I'll probably just leave those for later. I'll come and clean those up later. Do you guys use the patch tool? Prince, I'll love it and be much grateful if you give me M1 after you change it. Unfortunately, I do cannot give it out because I will take it to the Apple store and then get it replaced with another one. I honestly wish I was in the position right now to just do giveaways, but unfortunately, I am not. What do you call that guy? The guy that does all these huge giveaways. I don't even know his name. Can't remember his name. Okay, so we're getting these out the way. It's probably going to take a little bit of time to get all of these out the way, but okay. We don't have to get everything out the way. Another reason why I do it this way is she doesn't like she tends not like she doesn't have a lot of blemishes. So you can see she probably just has like a few here and there, which I can always still take out too using this technique and not just the hair. You can take out a lot of these using these techniques. And here too. Just move this. Not good. And then here too. We're probably going to do the same for all these ones out here. Once you are done with this, it really gets easier from here. Okay, get these out the way. And this one's too. Like I said, another thing I'm looking forward to over the next few days or few months is a Canon R5 Mark II. So off the top of my head, right, I do not want to change. Is there any comment? Yeah. Oh, Mr. Beast, that's his name. Thank you. So off the top of my head, I do not want to change my camera because like I just feel like it's an expense that I'm not ready to make right now. Like it's going to cost quite a lot of money to change my camera. Now, I've thought about the possibility of switching from Canon, to be very honest, and the reason is because like I feel like with Canon recently they've just not been doing anything, and the way that the what do you call it, the way they're going about things, especially when it comes to like their lenses, it's kind of like bothersome. It's kind of bothersome if you are a creator, because like you literally have to spend money on Canon's lenses and you can't have third party RF lenses to spend money on, right? Or if you want to get something cheaper, you have to go with like the old technology, which is the EF lenses. Now, don't get it twisted. EF lenses are still like really good and they work great on RF cameras, right? But just to future proof yourself, you would not want to spend quite a lot of money on EF EF lenses, right? You'd rather just spend money on something new, probably something that has better technology and all that. So, I mean, I don't think I'll take out like all these strands up here because I don't think I have to. I think those ones are good because this one's here has stains, so I don't need to take those out. And it's it's kind of like a skincare thing, so it's a skincare campaign. So it does not have to. Her skin does not have to look perfect. Like it just needs to look good. It does not have to look perfect, right? Okay, great. So I'm going to zoom inside to show you guys a few things we definitely need to take that out. Then this one's too. Is there any other thing here we need to take out? I feel like we can figure out what we need to take out later. So I'm just going to take out a few of these blemishes here. Anyways, back to what I was saying about Canon. Yeah, RF lenses are expensive. So for me, it's like, why on earth am I sticking with Canon? But at the same time, once you buy into any system, it's kind of hard for you to get out of it, because like first and first, I'm used to the Canon systems, and I like how the cameras feel, and I'm very satisfied with like my camera. I just want to have options when it comes to lenses. Now, another question I ask myself is like, am I really going to buy these lenses if I did have the option? Like I don't know, but I mean, I would like to have those options, and see that the the camera, I don't know, producer that I'm going with, has will let me have these options like they used to in the past. But hey, so I've considered Sony. Sony's good, In fact, if you are planning to rent out your gear and you're abroad, Canon is not top of your list when it comes to that. But that's why I'm looking at the new cameras that are bringing out. I think they have a new camera coming out today. That's going to be a cinema camera. If you guys know, I used to have the C500. So kind of looking forward to seeing what they'll bring. And we'll see. Okay, great. So, just quick before and after. Before, you guys can see the face. Look at all these places. And after, you can see it's gone. Before, see that. After, before, after. Okay, great. The good thing about like cleaning up your image is that it takes your image to a whole new level before you even start skin retouching. For a lot of people, they'll not be able to see it, but hey, for me, I can see it. This right here is from my camera. I think when I shoot at like over f11, that pops up. I don't know where that's from, but I can always just clean it later in post. I think it's just a dust speck or something. I don't know. It's either in my camera or it's on my. I'll take that part later. It's either in my camera, it's on my lens. I don't know. Okay, great. So let's get to the easy part here. So when it comes to this, there are kind of two ways that I'll go about like retouching the skin, right? The first one is to go the extremely hard professional way with it, which is micro dodge and burn, and just get that out of the way, right? But that's probably going to take like an hour, maybe 45 minutes to be able to do my micro dodge and burn, right? You said, do they also rent cameras abroad? Yes, they do. The next one is to actually use my pack, right? So what I typically do when it comes to this is just try out my pack first and see what that looks like. So I will just throw the beauty retouch just to get a sense of what it looks like. Because for me, it kind of like gives me a good starting point, right? I want to make sure that the blemishes are showing very well. But at the same time, with dodge and burn, I mean, it will still keep the blemishes intact. But the thing is that with dodge and burn, it kind of takes a long time to get those tiny patches out of the way. So, what I'm just going to do right now is just see what this would do and see how far this is going to get me I jump into before I jump into micro dodge and burn. Now, don't get it twisted. Even when I use my pack for something like this, I always still use micro dodge and burn. I tell people all the time, like there's no one um one size fits all for retouching. I've been saying it, man. My PC is slow today. I'm probably going to try out the other one. It's slow today. Lord have mercy. Okay, great. So with this, what I'm just going to do is pick my brush tool and then just set my brush to 20, and I'll just paint over the skin. Just paint over the skin and see what that looks like. Now, I can see to a certain extent, right, that some of the blemishes are fading. I can see that. It's not like I can't see that. Not the blemishes, some of the, what do you call it? Some of her freckles, not blemishes. She doesn't have blemishes. She has nice freckles. I can see to a certain extent that some of the freckles have faded just a bit, but we'll see if we can bring that back, right? But with this that I've done right now, probably get under the lip a bit. Just underneath the lip right there with the eyes. So like this is not your close down tool. I still struggle with micro dodge and burn. I don't understand why. um it's not that hard to do, trust me. Okay, so let's see what our before and after looks like here. So that's our before and that's our after. It did a pretty before after. It did a pretty good job, to be very honest. Before, after. Oh, it did a really good job. Like the whole blemishes, everything is still intact, and it did a pretty good job. And this is why I like using my pack first before I go into micro dodge and burn, because it kind of gives me like something to work off. I don't know if that makes any sense. So that's the before, and that's the after. Okay, great. So it's giving me something to work off. I'll probably just come into blending and then reduce the opacity of this just a little bit, and that would actually just help me get my shadows back intact. But look at before, look at the after. Before, after. Okay, so it's giving me a nice base to work off. To be very honest, like sometimes, like you still, I feel like I'm not going to say this is going to do a better job than micro dodge and burn. Micro dodge and burn from the start to the finish is probably going to do a better job than this. But this is like a good base for me to actually build off of. Yeah. And okay, great. So what I'm going to do right now is just create my complete dodge and burn. Where is it? Okay, great. So we have like the complete dodge and burn now. This is the invert check layer, and it's probably like one of my favorite parts of, or one of my favorite things when it comes to retouching, right? It just helps you see light a lot better than you would if you weren't using it, right? So right now I can see. Okay, remember when I was telling you guys about like the patches that are here? As you can see those patches clearly right now, right here with the invert check layer. So if I bring this down, you can see how those look right here, right? And on the face, you can see a few other things. So what I typically do here is just do micro dodge and burn with my invert check layer. I will take my flow all the way to 1% for my brush. Make sure that my foreground color is white. If you have any questions about micro dodge and burn, just throw it at me. Typically with micro dodge and burn, you burn the highlights and dodge the shadows. That's the whole idea. So for example, if I want to make this part of her lip, just a bit brighter, I will go to dodge, and then I will just dodge this part right here. I'm just going to make that lighter. So just to show you guys what that would look like. So let's do before and after. You can see that part of the lip is a lot lighter. I'm just going to zoom in so you can see it a bit better. The scroll wheel of whatever is popping up right now. So this is the before and that's the after. So that's basically like the premise of micro dodge and burn. For example, this part of the lip, I can decide to just lighten this part of the lip up too. Micro dodge and burn, pretty easy. What you're just doing is adding light, adding shadows to some places, just to even out the skin and get like a better shape. You guys see we've done those two things easy, right? Now, what the invert check layer does for you is that it just puts you in a place where you can see things a lot better, right? For example, right here under the eye, it's just easy for me to work around here. Now, while I do know that some of these things right here are freckles, like this one right here is not a freckle, and that is pretty dark. So what I'm going to do is just go in here and then just lighten this place up. I'll just lighten that place up. Now, when you work with the invert check layer, if you're dodging and it's getting dark, like you're dodging any place that is bright and it's getting dark, then you know you're doing the right thing. If you're burning any place that, like you're burning anything that is dark and it's getting light, then you're doing the right thing. So just going to come in here and then just get some of these out the way. Just basically what I'm just doing is just messing around with my shadows and highlights just to make it look better. Now, some places you dodge, then come back and burn, then dodge, then come back and burn. It's normal for you to do that so you can eventually get like an image that looks a lot better, an overall image that looks a lot better. Here I can see some patches here, don't like those, so I'm just going to dodge some of those, get that out of the way. Then here I'll burn around the lip here because I can see like a light patch there that I don't like. This part of her face, I'll probably just dodge that just to reduce that smile line that's there. There's quite a lot of things that can be done just to make this image a lot better up here. So typically I just keep switching between my dodge and burn layers, just till I get an image that works for me. So let's see where we're at right now. Sometimes, just turn off your invert check layer so you can see exactly where you're at, but do that in a bit. Okay. Okay, so let's turn off our invert check layer, see what I've done before, after. Just going to zoom out so you guys can see this. So before, after, you guys can see the underneath the eye there was, it was quite dark. We had this line underneath the eye there, and see what we've done is that we'll fix that. So that looks a lot better now. Then we had this line right here just above the nose, we fixed that. We have this shadows right here, just along her mouth. You guys can see we fixed that up, and there's still a couple of things to do, here and there. So just get back to work and fix some of those tiny things that you have to do. Get some of these out the way. Like I said, it's a skincare photo. The whole idea for the campaign was that they did not have to look perfect. So that's very important when you are working with your client. You don't want it to look, the client did not want it to look too retouched. She wanted it to look as natural as possible, but at the same time, it takes quite a lot of work to get an image to look good. Okay. And then just dodge that part right here. Can see some place right here that probably have to fix. Um, okay. Okay, so let's see what this looks like before, after. It's looking good. Um, right here underneath her chin, I feel like these are like, just gonna check those out. Let's see what that looks like. Yo, if you are learning something, give me a thumbs up. How do you know where to dodge and where to burn? You, I feel like that's a very good question. You just look at things that look off and things that don't have to be there. I feel like it's from understanding like the human face and just looking at things that shouldn't be there and shadows that just look weird, and like how there are a few, like light kind of like hits the human face a certain way. And if you have, maybe you're getting, I mean, obviously the older you get, the more the effect of gravity on your face. And because of how your face looks like mine right now, you can see right here, so if you just clean those tiny places like underneath here, that light hits, it just makes it look a little bit better. But you don't want to do it too much, because like, I mean, growing old is beautiful, and looking like aging but still at the same time looking a little bit youthful is great. So you just know how you do it, because like those are still part of what makes somebody look the way they look. So you have to just be very careful, but at the same time, like when it comes to smoothing out the skin, you just know some things aren't supposed to be in some certain places. If not, they'll leave like bumps and make the skin look creasy and creasy and all that. I think that's the right word. So for example, like right here, I can see some lines in here that shouldn't be there. So I'll just dodge some of those lines and see if I can just take a few of them out. I feel like it's experience. Like the more you do this, the better you get at it, and then the more you understand what shouldn't be where, and then just use like your dodge and burn to take them out. I feel like it's just experience that will teach you over a period of time. So I hope I was able to blab my way into answering that question. Eh? Just as I turning in from school. You know, go this really. Okay, great. So, let's see. Like I said, the one thing about me is my struggle to leave things looking as natural as possible. So that's another problem that I have. So this is before, this is after. I mean, I wouldn't say I've done too much on this image. So before, after, before, after. I wouldn't say so. I think I've done a decent job. Like I said, the whole idea is to still have it looking as natural as possible. So I don't think I've done too much, have I? Huh. That's a struggle. Have I done too much? Have I not done too much? We'll figure it out. Okay, great. So cleaned it up pretty nice. Nothing too crazy. Let's see. What you guys think? Please, when are you doing? Man, some people just come here and spew rubbish out of their mouth. But unfortunately, is what you have to deal with. uh, just have to ignore people. Anyways, moving forward. So now with my dodge and burn, there are a few things I can see that I would like to change. I can see that, like I would like to burn some of these places just to add some shape to the face the way I want it to look, right? Just a few of these places right here, you know. I don't know how you can see just those places right here that are just a bit too bright. You can see that right there. Just added like a little dodge, a little burn. I mean to that, um, dodge some of these places. I don't know, but burn some of these places. So these are things that your eyes just, they just get used to, especially if you've seen the subject in real life and you have an idea of what they should actually look like. I feel like the more I dodge this, burn this place, the more it gets red. And that's one thing that you have to pay attention to when it comes to dodge and burn. It can cause a little bit of discoloration um, from time to time. So, that's just a little bit too. Okay. Not bad, not bad. I think we've done a pretty decent job, right? Looks good. Thank you, thank you. Looks good. What's your light setup? Did I do a behind the scenes for this shoot? I can't remember if I did a behind the scenes for the shoot, but the light setup was just one light above my subject. Did I have a reflector? I can't remember. I think I did have a reflector. And then what else again? Then I had one light that was just bouncing in at the back just to create like a pure white backdrop. So it was a pretty straightforward light setup, and I used like a 30 something 32 inch beauty. They call it a beauty dish, but it's just a softbox. Yeah. Okay. So another thing I like to do is just turn off everything I've done, then do my global dodge and burn. So just going to take my flow to 3. Make sure that my foreground color is white, and then I'll start the dodge and burn process. So this is global dodge and burn, which is different from micro dodge and burn. Micro dodge and burn is just dodging, so that's lightening your shadows and burning your highlights to get like an even image. Global dodge and burn, on the other hand, is enhancing your image by making the highlights brighter and making the shadows darker. So you're doing the opposite. So typically micro dodge and burn, yeah, brightening your shadows, darkening your highlights. In global dodge and burn, you are brightening your highlights and darkening your shadows, right? So this is just to add some pop to your image. Who came up with this technique? I don't know. Does it work? Yes, it does. Pretty effective, to be very honest. I can't remember the last time I did not use micro dodge and burn. Sorry, global dodge and burn. Well, maybe both. I mean, if I skip micro dodge and burn, then I still do global dodge and burn all the time. But like I said, this is a skincare campaign. We just have to take it easy and not do too much. I feel like my client and producer is going to still tell me, because this is basically just an example of what like the images might look like. I feel like my producer is still going to hit me up and be like, Prince, I still think the retouching is a bit too much. We have to like reduce it. Let me see. The hair is not straight. Would you work on that? I don't know. Like I feel like this is not personal work. I know I can come on here to like edit this, which like typically if it's a paid job, I would not be able to do. But the producer is my friend, and I had a conversation with her about doing this already. So to be very honest, like I will share this with her and then get her feedback on what needs to be done. And like I said, they just want it to look really natural on the website. I don't know how natural this looks, but the whole idea is just to share this with the producer to get what her take would be or what her take is on this, and then see if this fits into the idea that they have in their head for the way they want it to look. So yeah. So at the end of the day, this one is not just, it's not 100% up to me. It's still, it's still what the producer wants. I might go into liquify and get some of these done and all that, but you can see like with the neck here, typically I'll clean this up and all that, but I'm just really looking at what they want and what they want it to look like at the end of the day. You can see this redness right here, that I don't like. So that's something that I would have to pay attention to. I feel like it's a little bit of the, I don't know, maybe the blush getting down there. I don't know. I have no idea. Um, oh, you're talking about the hairline not being straight. I don't think I'll ever pay attention to that, to be very honest. Like here, because I think the model said that because the hairline is here. Typically, it might have to be, huh? That's a good one. That's a really good one. That's something I wouldn't pay attention to on a normal day. But yeah. Um, so like I said, I'm just going to share this with her, get what her opinion is, and then see where we're going from there. So okay, great. So one other thing that I typically do is just hold option down and just add a little bit of this, a little bit of that. The background though can be a lot wider than it is right now, so that's one thing. Eyes and teeth typically, that's like a staple, normal stuff that you have to do. Um, I might use one for the eyes, then use another for the teeth. Just because like you don't want both of them to be in the same layer, because they are probably going to be the the results that you're going to use at the end of the day are probably going to be different. You know, so just a little bit. I feel like the eyes look so good. They would be nice if they were just a little bit brighter. And this is another thing that I don't know if the client wants. So yeah, it just looks nice and brown. So it would be nice to just bring some of those out. Like that. But like I said, you just don't know if this is something that the client wants. Man, she has big Google eyes in this image. Okay, great. Then I'll run another eyes and teeth whitening. Just we've been on here for about 1 hour. That is crazy. That is crazy. Well, I still got 10 people watching, so that's good. Um, do another eyes and teeth, and then just 27, and then just increase the brightness here. So the reason why I said you're not sure exactly what you want to do with both, you don't want to do both of them, because like now I can, just work on this one independently. Okay, great. I mean, there's still a few things to do. Like I said, I'm just going to share this with the client to know exactly what the client wants. Probably just throw a lot on top of that. I feel like that's going to four. Four is not bad. Four is not bad. Reduces the redness to a certain level, right? And gives it a nice pop. What I'll typically do is just jump into Liquify and see what that would look like in Liquify. I mean, now that you told me about like the hairline not being straight, I cannot unsee that, right? Okay. Jump into Liquify. With Liquify, right? I feel like we can do that. It's not going to be hard to Liquify. You just have to move it around. Just that's not that hard to do. I think. I'm going to mess this up in Liquify. There are a few other things that you can do. Just get those up. I feel like this part of her jaw this part of the body just looks weird, and it would be nice if it was curved down a little bit instead of just looking as high as it looks. Then here too, this probably straighten that out just a little bit. I feel like there's a few things I should have done with the body that I still didn't do. This part of the neck looks a little bit too weird. The face width. Now I always reduce the face width and the jawline, the major reason is that like I shoot with 100 mm, right? And the closer the 100 mm is, the more the face will distort, right? Like I prefer, I've like if I'm going to continue shooting beauty, I want to get like a 180 mm macro lens because I feel like that's going to be a lot better for like beauty shots than the 100 mm. Like I prefer the compression on that than the 100 mm. So yeah, so something like this is not bad. Remember the other time I told you guys that the background will be easy to clean. So something like this is not bad. I don't know if I messed up the hair, but like I said, this is just going to the clients or whatever. Like the background is easy to fix. That one I will probably use. Should I use median? Nah, that's like using advanced. I don't want to use advanced. Where's my frequency separation? Where are you? And that's because I haven't used that in a long time. So I'm just going to run my basic frequency separation. Hopefully it doesn't affect any other thing, right? Just click 14. That's totally fine. Maybe sometimes even use like a lesser radius, right? And then I will pick this lasso tool right here and then just draw. Make sure I don't touch the hair though. Because you don't touch the hair. You don't want to touch the hair, you don't touch your subject. Yeah. Just draw across my subject like this, right? Command J, and with filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Probably take that to like 100 or something like that, like 100, somewhere around there. You know, it cleans it up pretty good. But it spills to your subject. So one thing you do is just create a um mask. Take your flow of your brush to 100%. Make sure it's change it to black this time because we're trying to make sure it's not on her skin, and just paint on your subject skin. Just to reduce how much it shows up on the skin, or the spill from the blur. So we just reduce that, and that looks pretty good. One other thing you can do is like once you have done this, you can just merge it into like one image and everything. And then another thing you can do is excuse me, with this image you've done, since it's a seamless background, you can still get your mixer brush tool, and honestly speaking, just run your mixer brush tool through this place like this. Just run it through it and just smoothing it out. And that should smoothen things out a lot. With the mixer brush tool, it's pretty easy to do. Honestly speaking, like same thing with this place. Just run the mixer brush tool, just smoothing out your background with the mixer brush tool. Then once you've done that, you can create the mask again. Go to your regular brush, right? Black, and then just make sure that it's not spilling onto your subject and it's just in the background. Just paint around your subject, right? Um, and you're pretty good to go. You're good to go. So with this, let's see where we started because we are, yeah, it's about to be 1 hour and I'm about to jump off this live. So this is our before and this is our after. I think we did a pretty decent job. So yeah, this is our before and this is our after. It's not too much. And I think the client will be, I feel like since I brightened the left part of the face up, it just looks a little bit more, like the freckles there kind of disappeared. But can always put the freckles back if you want. I feel like there are brushes for that. But I think we did a pretty decent job before, after, and that looks pretty good before, after. Okay. I think we did a good job. Okay. Anyways, Dan, go ahead. I'm going to run it back though. Hey, Ryan. Appreciate, brother. Appreciate you 100%, man. Thank you so much. So I plan on doing this like two times a week. So maybe Ryan, I'll hit you up because I think you got some amazing photos at the Miami swim week, swimwear week. I don't know what it's called, but Miami swim thing. So, yeah. So I'm going to hit you up and see if I can get some of those photos to retouch live. So yeah, so I'm planning on doing this regularly just to, because I mean, sometimes recording the videos, getting them edited, and all this stuff. All right, just come here, have a conversation with you guys, and answer questions when I'm doing this. So if you guys like it, but anyways, so those are the befores, those are the afters. It's been 1 hour since I've been here. Hopefully I'll be able to do this longer next time, and a lot earlier too. But yeah, yeah, Miami Swim Week. That's it. I'll probably hit you up and just get some stuff from you. But anyways, thank you so much, guys. Appreciate every single one of you. If you guys enjoyed this, please don't forget, give it a thumbs up, give the video a thumbs up. Just let YouTube know that you like this video, and I appreciate it. We didn't get one like the whole stream. One like we didn't get. So please give it a like, all 10, 12 of you that are watching. I appreciate it. Man, anyways, see you guys in the next live or the next video I put up. All right. Have a good night. Peace out, guys.